we have something called as a examples. So what is this examples? So this examples, if you see, it is same as our first scenario. First scenario, what did we write here? We write sauce lab and then secret sauce, right, in the strings. Instead of that, if you give it as a angular basis, if you give it like this, what is the meaning? Username, password. That means, if you see here, username is one column, password is another column. So we will have to write examples. Examples means what? Examples means it is the provider of data. Okay, so username is one column, password is another column. Usually we use this. Maybe we may not use data table to that extent. Even if you don't understand, this is also okay, but good to know, really good to know. But this is really important. You need to know. Whenever you want to test with one data, you give username and password. Secret sauce, standard user, secret sauce, like that in the double quotes. But if you want to run with multiple sets of data, in that case, what do you have to do? You have to use double quotes here and then angular braces, and then write the column name here, only the column name. So this is again just like a data table only. It is going to be used as a data table. Username, password, map, key, value, key, value, key, value, key, value, like this. Okay, login attempts with the different credentials. We are trying to log in using different credentials over here. So the only difference here, very important, a common interview question people ask is, so here if you see, we are writing it as a scenario. When we write scenario, when we want to test with one data, right? When we want to use a data table, even that time also we write as a scenario. This is also scenario, this is also scenario. We want to execute with one set of data. Here we want to set with multiple sets of data, but we are using the inbuilt data table here. But when we want to run using multiple sets of data, another way is, if you leave this aside for now, another way is what? Using the examples block. When we write examples colon, again this is a Gherkin keyword. So you give key value, whatever is the username, whatever password. If you want to enter multiple sets, you give all of the data. Multiple data you give. Okay. So user, this is a column header. Username is a column, password is a column. First username is this, first password is this, second username is this, second password is this. It's going to be converted as a map. Okay. The only difference here, when you use scenario, you write test with one set of data. When you want to test with multiple sets of data using example block, you write it as scenario outline. What is the difference between scenario and scenario outline? The scenario is basically we are trying to test with one set of data. Scenario outline is we are trying to test with multiple sets of data using the example, where the data is stored in the examples block. Where the data is stored in the example block. You can just leave. This is also doing the same thing, but only thing is we are not writing examples here. We are, see, where am I writing here? Am I writing, if you see here, when the user enters username and password. This is going as a column, this is going as a column. But here what am I doing? When the user attempts these credentials, username, password, and then this is the expected results. If you see here, I am putting it inline. But here I am writing the Gherkin given when then, and then below we are writing the data here. Okay. So absolutely don't get confused. Even if you don't understand data table also is fine. You should understand this is a single data. This is a multiple sets of data. Here we write as a scenario outline. Scenario outline is always used with respect to the examples block, where we write this, we pass this and this. First row, second row, third row, fifth, fourth row, like this. Keep on writing multiple sets of data here like this. Internally, again the same thing. The implementation is same. If you just go back over here, the implementation is same. That is why there is the same method for both. The method which is basically, you know, whatever it is doing to this guy, and with respect to this guy, they are same. Only thing is it's trying to take it as a data table and then again pass it. If you see here, there's only one method now. There are no two methods. There's only one method. It's trying to, when you use either examples block or when you use this data table like this, ultimately your Cucumber is going to treat it as one data table. Okay. This also treat it as a data table. It will basically iterate, convert this as a map, and then try to get the data. It is going to convert that as a, see, for both the methods, it's coming as a data table only as an argument. And that table is converted as a map, right? Using that map, we are iterating, getting the username password. See, get or default, why we are using get or default here? Otherwise, I would have written one more method. If it is there, if it is not there, see here, we are putting success, success, failure in it. Here we are not putting the third column. If the third column is not there, what do you want the default value to be? The default value, I'm putting it as get or default is a method in the hash map. If the key is there, if the value for the key is present, it will get that. If the value for the key is not present, it will put the value as success. I'm putting it as success here. I'm inserting, it as success. That is what is the get or default. Get will get you the key value, the value of the key. Get or default means if the key is there, get the value. If the key is not there, put this as the value. That's what is the meaning. So just to have same method, I've written it like this. Otherwise, I had to write another method for this because we are not using the third column here. What is the value of third column? Third column, I'm putting it as success, 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 whatever, failure, failure. I'm putting it. Okay. So the same thing here, it gets this username, enter the password. Click on the button, checks whether it is success or not. And here there's no value, I'm inserting success. I'm inserting success. Every time I'm inserting success. But when we compare, it will be false. It will be false, it will be false. That's why the test case will fail. Are you getting it? So using the scenario outline and example block is a common practice. Data table is also there, but usually we use it like this. We write scenarios and then we write the scenario outline. Very, very important from the interview point of view. You have to go through this code. You have to go through this code, right? I know it is little confusing, but just go through this once again, you will understand. Get or default means if the key value, the value for the key is present, value for this key is present, it will get the value. If the value for the key is not present, then it will put the value as success. Default value as success, default value. We discussed this right in the hash map class. Okay, so this is what it is. Just to go through this, you will understand it. I actually speaking, I have taken this code, using your internet. That's why it is little confusing, but otherwise we should have written the code over here. That's okay. But if you go through this, you will understand what we are trying to do here. Okay, so interview people will ask you what is the difference between scenario and scenario outline. What is the difference? In the scenario, we test it using one data set. In the scenario outline, we will test it using multiple sets of data. One row, second row, third row, fourth row, like this. This one whole row is stored as one object in the list. What is the object here? Again, key and value pair, right? This goes as a map, and the first map, second map, third map, all of them will go into one list. Okay, if you understand like this, you will get it. Go to this again. If you have any questions, you ask me. This is very, very important. Very important. How do you use data tables? How do you use examples? Is very important. Exactly the syntax has to be like this, right? So let us run this now. I will run the login. Where to change it? You just have to change it here. Okay, you can use or also. Okay, or means either this or that. You can use or keyword here. Or means either run this if this tag is there. If that tag is not there, run the other tag. But anyways, we will use only one tag now. Let me write it like this and then run it. So I think we have added a wait now. It should not be a problem. Let it run. Very important because some companies are still using BDD. Okay, it is really good, important for you to understand how do we test using data table, how do we test using the examples block. First guy, right? And then second guy, okay, third guy, okay, error will come, okay. We are expecting, but it has not logged in. That's why it will fail, right? They are failing the test case. It can be anything, okay. It is running once again. Okay, got it. So, okay, now I understood why I have given login here. Because, okay, let it run. I'll stop it. Now, if you see here, let me stop it. How to stop here? So, what is happening here is I have given the tag as login. And whereas for the whole feature also I given the tag as login. It's trying to run the whole feature file because the tag is login. It is running this, it is running this, it is also running this. Ideally, you should not give like that. That's why. This is login 1. Maybe I'll name it as login 2. It will only run one scenario now. Scenario or scenario outline. Okay. So if you give the whole feature file tag, it will run the whole feature. Now we are trying to run only one scenario here. Okay, we are trying to run only one scenario. Let me run it now. That's why I was wondering why it is taking running so many things. See now, first guy. Okay, and now the second guy. It is running as a separate test, by the way. Okay, so third guy. Okay, then fourth one, right, and fifth one. Good. Why it is running again? Maybe it is considering the it is running multiple times. Better to give a different tag altogether. What is it running now? See here, it is running the login attempts. This scenario it's trying to run, right? And then uh, why it is running multiple times? Is it taking by string? Better to give separate string altogether. Scenario is what? Run scenario. It's trying to run the scenario. Which scenario? One, two, three, four data sets. How many data sets are there here? How many data sets we have? We have one, two, three, four, five. Right? How many does run? Uh, three, four, five, six. It's trying to run six also. So maybe the string, right? Better to give different string here. Okay. So here I assume that I will remove the string. I don't have so yes. Tests like this. This is the tag. This is login one. This is maybe I just test valid. Okay, let me give this. I don't know why it is running multiple things here. Yeah, maybe it is considering the text. Okay, by text it is trying to run. Right now, hopefully it will be fixed. Okay, let us see what it does now. It's trying to build. Okay, so let it run now. So hopefully this should run only once. I have not given the tag of the feature file. Okay, let's see. Scenario outline. It's trying to run this now. Good. Okay, second test. Okay, good. Problem user. This is also good. Third test. Every row is a separate test case. That's why it is running multiple times. This is the third one. This is a one more difference. Okay, when you use data table and this, okay, this is one more difference. This guy. Fourth one. Logged user. Okay, good. The last one. This is also good. Right. This is a invalid user. All good. So now let's go back over here. Yeah, so this is what it is. Now it has stopped. Okay, so okay, another difference here is if you just see here, when I used this data table, if I use the data table explicitly, we were going to the page and then we were trying to log in again and again, right? But over here, every row is considered as one test case. This one test case, this one test case, this one test case, like that. Okay, that is why if you see here, it is showing as what? See, one test case, second test case, third, fourth, fifth, like this. Okay, so just remember that's okay. One of the same. If you ask me, whatever data table is doing, whatever examples block is doing, is one of the same. Okay. If you know with respect to the examples block, data table is also same. Data table is inline data. See, in the step itself, in this line itself, you are taking the data, and here you write your scenario or scenario outline. Then you define the data here under the examples. This examples block can be anywhere below. but here this is inline here itself. This is the difference. Okay, so just go through this and try to run it, and you will understand. It's very, very important, very important. Common question is difference between scenario and scenario outline. What is the difference? This one set runs with one set of data, runs with multiple sets of data using the examples. Is there any other way to take the data? Yes, the use of the data tables like this. That's what it is. Make sense? So just go through this. With this, I think we are good here. Okay, so there's no point in discussing further here. So just try to understand this one. Right? This is the only test runner class you have to write. If at all, you have multiple feature files, and then in each feature file you have multiple scenarios, like 3 scenarios here, 4 scenarios in another feature file, 5 scenarios in another feature file, like that. If that is the case, if you want to run the scenarios in parallel, then I have anyway given this over here. This is what is the implementation. If you just put this, what it's going to do is all the scenarios that are there, it is going to take them, store them, and then it will run them in parallel. Okay, just I'm putting it over here. It's not required for us as of now to run all the scenarios in parallel. Uncomment the method below. If you uncomment this, it will run all the scenarios in parallel. Now, as of now, we have only 3 scenarios. But imagine that there are multiple feature files, multiple scenarios. If you want to run all of them in parallel, then you go for what? Then you go for this, which is okay for now. If you know this is also fine. Okay. So what it will do is it will take out all the scenarios one by one, and give it to you, and then each scenario will be executed in parallel, separate thread. Okay, so just to know, but otherwise this is how we link our features with the step definition. This is where our features are, this is where our step definitions are, which tag you want to run. Okay, and then okay, one more thing is, if you just go here in the Cucumber HTML report, okay, this is the report where you have to see. If you open it in browser, so by default Cucumber will give you the HTML report like this. Okay, by default it will give you like this. What is the scenario outline? Given, when, then. Okay, so it is trying to give you something like this. Okay, so what is the operating system, what is the JVM, what is passed, what is failed, you can filter out. 2 passed, 3 failed. Okay, so failed one, if you want to remove, only passed ones you can see. Okay, if you see here, what has passed, what has failed. This has passed. Again, see the beauty here is it's a very detailed report. Okay, it's a very, very detailed report, right? So let me again show it to you over here. So very, very important. This report, analyzing this report is very important. One with browser. If you see here, it's going to show you like this. This is the username, this is the password. If you want to see what is the exact thing happened, click on this. It will show you this in the login functionality. When the user entered this and this, clicked on this, then it is successfully logged. This is one step. Right? This is one step. And again, if you go for this guy, see, when the user entered what? Username and password as this, then what it has shown? It has shown a assertion error. See, this guy, then click the login button. Basically, you were expecting it to be true, but it failed. That's why it's exception, assertion error. Back to Outline, click on this. It will again take you back. When the user entered this and this, again there's an assertion error. Okay, so this will really help you to get to know the results in a very, very proper. You can attach the screenshots, all of that we can do. Okay, but if you understand this much for now, this is good. You can only see the past ones. Okay, you can only see the failed ones. Okay, past, failed, both have gone. Only past. What are the ones that are past? I don't know. It's showing both. It's showing past, failed, both also. But this is a very, very detailed report. You can go here, it will tell you. Right? So this is the login scenario. Is a valid login. This is your tag, right? This is your feature. This is your tag. And then when we enter this is what happened, right? When I entered this, see, this is one more test case. Problem user this. Again, go back. This is another test case. Logged in user, this is the password. One more test case like this. Correct? So this is how it will give you. So please try to go through this. analyze the report. This is really, really going to help you. All right. So with that, I'll stop. I think I'll have to stop here now. It's already time. Yeah. So the only thing that is pending is Jenkins. Jenkins and the CI/CD pipeline, which I'll talk about this tomorrow. And then one session for Friday for resume building and then clearing any doubts you may have. So by this weekend, we will end the batch. It's already dragging, really dragging. So better to end it by this week. Okay. So don't miss the class tomorrow. We will try to close this tomorrow and day after. All right. So please go to this. I'll upload the whole project once again. Try to understand what is scenario outline, what is data table. Understand that, please. Very important. And also try to understand the report. Okay. So where is this report coming from? Report is coming because of this. We are attaching. We are saying that attach this report. See, this what it is. Because of this, it is creating a simple HTML report. All right. Cool then. Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining. Please practice. We will catch up again tomorrow then. Okay.
Recording stopped.
Thank you. See you tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.